Alrighty, folks. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. My name is Bojan Petreski. Today is November 2nd, 2021. We will be doing the Futures Now sessions for today. The disclaimer is there for your use, your understanding. Please make sure to read it, go over it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask about it. I'm just going to quickly be finishing up with the setups here for the multi-stream that we got going on. There's the agenda for the day. Let's just make sure everything's working good here. I got the notification on a couple of them. Everything was looking okay. So let's just make sure that everything remains okay. All right, there we are. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So this is the agenda for today. So we're going to be looking at the current market environment. We're going to be executing on new opportunities, and we're going to be managing those intraday trades using our intraday trade management rules. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm just going to open up TradeStation real quick. And of course, TradeStation has an update. So let's go ahead and take that a few moments to go ahead and just double check that everything's okay here. Just want to make sure. That's good. That's good. All right, let's open this one. There's TradeStation. Let's go ahead and get it started. Alrighty. Let's pop open our climates. The auto climate, short time frame. How's everybody doing today? Alright, I'm just making sure everything's okay here. There we are. Okay, now it's good. Alright. There we go. Okay, just making sure. All right, folks, so let's go ahead and get started with this. So this is our auto climate. This is our radar screen. This is where we're going to see the climates of the instruments that we're going to be trading today. So as you see, we got the 50-minute time frame climate and the 60-minute time frame climate, as well as the 240. Given that this is an intraday trading session, we're mainly going to prioritize the 15-minute and the 60-minute. These two time frames are basically sufficient enough for intraday trading. Um, Obviously, the 15-minute one should give us a lot more opportunities, but sometimes if you've been with me on a couple of these trade sessions, we have opportunities galore, and sometimes we're just fishing for things. There's not much to go on, if the markets aren't moving. All right, so as we see right now, we have a couple of things, and which is exactly what we're looking for. Is we want this column here to be filled in with a color, whether red or blue. We um, are less concerned as long as it has a color. And as well as the condition down here, we want it to be either a near sensible short looking with a red climate or near sensible long with a blue climate to give us an opportunity to potentially execute in that environment. So as we see, there's a couple things going on here. We got crude oil and gold flashing first. Nasdaq is very close to this ATR spread, so I'm not gonna pay too much attention to it first. I'm gonna open gold and crude oil first, and then see. So we got crude, gold, and the Nasdaq 15. We'll open all three, but I'm gonna focus on gold and crude first because they could be giving us an opportunity we don't want to miss out on. All right. Just double checking. Everything's looking good here across the board. Okay, so let's go ahead and get it started here. Looking at crude right now. Crude's pushing down. It's actually already trading below the moving average, so unfortunately that's not gonna give us anything. This would have been a good entry. We would have already been stopped out. Actually, no, I wouldn't have, because the entry is 70, so this just missed this UFO. Um, so crude's looking, and it's already unconfirmed by the time we literally opened the chart. It became unconfirmed, so nothing to do here. Let's go ahead and take a look at gold. So gold is pushing up against the moving average here, 17.922 to 17.93 even. Okay, so let's go ahead and explain this since we do have a trade here. We're going to go ahead and put it on first and then explain it. So 17.92.9. We're going to move our stop to above the UFO, 17.94.4. So that's 5 ticks there. 3, 4, 5. That's our T1. Our trade setup, I'm just going to move this down for a little bit because we have a UFO way down below. So let's go ahead and explain this trade as we have it set up, because I feel like it's a lot easier to explain it when you have it on as opposed to when you don't. We're looking for a couple things here. So we're looking for gold on the 15-minute time frame, right, to stay in a confirmed down climate by seeing this red dot down here, the thick red dot. And as long as that's the case, we need to find where this exponential moving average, the 9 EMA, oops, that's not what I meant to do, the 9 EMA, right, this is the 9 EMA, which is currently at 1793. We want this EMA to be enveloped by a UFO on any one of these time frames up here. And as it happens to be the case, it is enveloping it in this UFO right here on the 610 share bar chart. Um, so that is the scenario. That is what we're looking for. That is what we're executing on. And now we're a couple of ticks away. Actually, we were 1 tick away. Right? The high was 92.8, and our entry is at 92.9. We do have a UFO, as I said here. That's the one we're executing on. There we go. We did get filled, risking $300. Let's go ahead and finalize the trade. The first target is a 1-to-1. All right. The second target, we're also going to maximize this larger time frame, the 15-minute time frame, and look for an opposing UFO in this scenario. And in this scenario, the opposing UFO is all the way down here, as you see, 1785.4. Right there, 1785.4. That is our final target. So 1785.4. Okay, that's a little far. I'm going to enable chart trading here and right click that, 1785.4. Replace that order. Nice initial move down off of our entry point, which is exactly what we want to see. It would have been actually really nice on that impulse move down, which went to 1.7. We were at 1.4, so 3 ticks away from our T1 to get our T1. Didn't fill yet, but we're gonna give it some time, right? We're gonna give it at least about 10 minutes or so is what we typically give it to. But this is looking like it's gonna fill. It's moving nicely, so let me know if you guys took it with me or not. Just checking all the channels where we're simulcasting so I don't miss out on any comments or questions. There we go. We're all set. All right. Looks like we got T1. That was, fairly quickly. Love it when this happens. Gotta try to love it when the opposite happens too. That's, of course, one of those things, market will stop you out sometimes just as quick as it's happened here live on stream. I think it was with crude oil the other day. It just went straight to the stop as if there was nothing in between, and that's okay. You gotta be okay with it. I'm not saying you have to love it, but you gotta be okay with it, and that's what I was when it happened with crude. Okay, so what's our next step, right? Do we just forget about this trade until it hits 750? That's one way of trading it, absolutely. If you want to, you're more than welcome to do that. I would say definitely back test the results you will get before you just say, okay, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Um, what I typically do is I incorporate two different rules and strategies when I'm in a trade. So the first rule is I need an ally UFO, meaning since I'm short, I need a red UFO to form somewhere here, here, wherever the case may be. Especially if we have a nice shot down here, we're definitely going to see something. But as of right now, we're not seeing it. Or right, and then at that point, you just take your stop and you just move it above it, right? So let's say there's a UFO that forms, right here somewhere. So you just take your stop and move it there, right above the UFO, and that's it. You're in profit. The trade's making money. You're good. If that doesn't happen, as is oftentimes, tends to not happen, this was our exit, right? Uh, 1.4. Our entry point was at 2.9. What I typically do is I just measure these with the trend line. All right, measure them with the trend line, 1.5, right? That's what we were risking. Take that down the equal amount. Okay, so that means at this point, if, and this is how you have to think about this, if price touches 89.9, if price touches 89.9, right? Doesn't matter if it ticks to it or closes to it. It does not matter. As long as it touches that line, you have now permission to take your stop, which is up here at 94.4, and move it one increment down. What does one increment mean? It just means the distance of your original risk to reward, right? 1.5. So you would take this and you would put it right onto uh, the entry point at this point, and that would be that. All right. If a new UFO forms, then obviously, that should be a different story. Just bear with me for 1 second, guys. Sorry, I thought I had my phone on do not disturb, but ended up still vibrating. All right, there we go. So that's the explanation for the trade management of this gold trade. It worked out pretty well with the T1. It's still looking kind of heavy, so I'm hoping that we get a new UFO to form here, so that we can look for moving our stop to protect the profits of this trade. Now, that being said, we need to move on. We may actually see something right now as long as we get a break below here. It's the only reason why I'm spending a little bit of time, but could easily just reverse back. Wow, crude not only did the climate change to unconfirmed, it changed to a confirmed down climate. Crude's shooting down quite rapidly. Current price is at 61. There's really no way to catch this. This would actually be a potential entry here at 61. But it's just looking so heavy that I highly doubt we'll even get something there. So let's go ahead and look at the NQ. The Nasdaq was flashing a confirmed climate, and it is. Okay. Confirmed up climate. 69 is the point where the moving average is meeting. And look at that, we do have a UFO. So this one would be at 72, would be the entry point. Actually, a little bit higher, 72 quarter. The stop, same thing like before, would be below this 65.25. All right, now let's just do the quick math of what our stop to entry point is. Oh, we didn't get filled. Let me move it quickly. Actually, now it's easier. 280, risking 280. So that means we gotta move this up to 280, and we're gonna cancel the. There's nothing. Oh no, there is something above. Look at that. Let's move that temporarily up there. Maximize this. So we do have an opposing UFO. I thought we were not going to have one, but we do. And it starts at 5901.75. All right, so 5901.75. Let's right click that, 15,901.75. Replace that order. Yes. All right. So that's that trade setup too. Um, I really like a trade like this that's, pre-market. I would really love it if it hit T1. Um, as long as it doesn't stop me out, this should be okay. All right, so gold did end up pulling back to our entry point. That's okay. As long as the climate is still confirmed, we're okay to hold this, and the climate is still good. Now, keep in mind the climate is getting a little bit, it's going to get into the overextended range as of the next candle, meaning that when the next 15-minute increment opens in about, what's it going to be, 12 minutes? In about 12 minutes from now, we're going to have it's going to be the fifth down climate out of typically four. So that's what these numbers represent down here. So as you see, 4 and 3.93 is also 4. So currently we're in the fourth out of four down climates on the 15-minute time frame on gold. All right, so let's just make sure we keep an eye on that as well. All right, I don't expect this to be going anywhere right now. So there's crude actually popping a little bit higher. I doubt it's going to get up to here, but just in case it does, I do want to put in a trade here. 83.61, the entry point. Stop above 88 it's going to be. Oh man, 75, so 76. First stop there. That goes into that one. Let me just see, this might not work. 89. It's into that one. No, we're going to go ahead and cancel that. The reason why is because there's just too much of a risk. Our stop would need to be all the way above this 84.09 area. And that's just, excessive amount of stop. And something to think about as well, our T1 should be, exactly what just happened with gold, which is we need a quick, nice move to capture that safety target, right? T1 should be our safety target rather than our make money target. With T1, we should be risk off so that we can let the trade run and go to its T2. And kind of have a much more relaxed, much more easier feeling when it comes to trading it as far as it goes, right? You could shoot for the stars, right? You could say, okay, well, I think gold's gonna go all the way down to $1,000. I mean, you can certainly do that. There's a low probability of that happening, especially from an intraday trading point. But it is what it is. Okay, so let's see what we got going on here. So right now, gold is pushing up against it. Right, we got our T1. We'll risk off. We have 150 bucks on the line here. We made it 150, so we're okay. Nasdaq, all right, it's looking a little better now. If we can get T1 before the open, as I said, that would be the best case scenario. It happens when as it opens, it just jerks up to T1, jerks down to the stop. That's okay too. But sometimes it just shoots up and never comes back, and that's what we're kind of betting on, expecting on here, right? Where we keep seeing this upward momentum happening in the last few hours from there. So plus the climate is telling us, hey, this is good to go. Third up climate out of typically 7, right? Moving average is right there at 870, where we got in at 72. So it's not looking bad at all, right? Yeah. So that's that. Crude See, it went all the way up to what, 50 something? Yeah, 55. The high is 55. Came all the way down to 83.05. All right, let's see if we got anything else that we need to be aware of. Okay, interestingly enough, as you see, gold is actually pushing up against the moving average, which is why the ATR spread is a little in the negative. Which is, as I said, that's okay as long as the climate remains confirmed. If the climate becomes unconfirmed, we have permission to close the trade. All right. Interestingly enough, we're also getting a sensible short on the 60-minute time frame. Here we go. The 30-year note is also giving us an opportunity. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. So the 30-year, what is US 60-minute? Okay. Just making sure, guys. If you have any questions, any comments, anything you're curious about, anything you want to say, hey, what the heck are you talking about here? Please feel free to go ahead and ask. And if you want to, just say hi in the chat. That's all good too. Not too long ago, we had a bit of a discussion in one of the channels. We can pause on trading and discuss anything you may have some questions on, and you may have some concerns on. You're more than welcome to do that. All right. All right, let's take a look at this 30-year note. So it is in a confirmed up climate, as you see from down here, where we have a confirmed up climate. I'm sorry, confirmed up climate, not down. Confirmed up climate, fourth. Why did this? Okay, yeah, that's why I'm like, wait a minute, what's happening here? It is a confirmed down climate. That's why, I remember from what I saw, yet when I opened it, it was a 240. I must have overridden the workspace. Let me close these guys out since I no longer use them. There's that over there. And let's just take a look at our time frames for this, just in case, because this should be, if I'm not mistaken, not the 2 minute, but rather the 8 minute time frame. So I definitely must have messed up something with my workspaces here, but I'm just going to double check it just to be sure. You can never be too sure. These are the time frame equivalencies. If you want to, you feel free to take a screenshot of this. These are the time frames that we use on each one of the. As you see, this is the climate time frame, and these are the edge um, chart frames that we use. So as we see right here for US, which is right there, we use the 8 minute time frame along with the 5097 shares and 377 ticks. All right. So let's go ahead and double check that that's what we're using. See, we're not for some reason, unless I opened the right. I must have just overridden it. So as we said, so it's 5097 on the share bar, and it's the 377 on the tick bar. 60-minute down here, 8 minute up here. Let's go ahead and save this workspace so it doesn't happen to us again. All right, so what are we looking at? We are looking at, well, quite a bit of nothing. Price is currently at the moving average at 18.30 seconds. No UFO there. So we fixed our workspace only to close it. Right, nothing to do there. All right, crude pulled back down from that 55, made a new UFO, confirmed down climate now. I'm hoping that in 4 minutes, as the moving average pushes down, we can jump on one of these trades. But as of right now, we're not looking like we will. Gold doing much less than paint drying. All right. All right. So we did not get. Oh, this wasn't that. Okay. So yeah, we did not get our T1 on that initial pull up on Nasdaq. So what we're expecting, or what we're hoping for now, is at the open we don't get wicked out and stopped out, or we may get stopped out before it opens. Okay, that's cool. um, Market's being a little stingy, I guess, this morning. That's okay. Um, I was really hoping to kind of stay in this trade as the market opens so that we could see some upward movement with us on board, as opposed to just seeing it happening in front of us without us being on board. So that's looking good. That's looking good. All right, here we go. 42.64 is still the moving average. So this UFO is still the one to go. But unfortunately, as we saw earlier, it goes into multiple UFOs that we have to put our stop all the way above this 84.10 area. And I just don't feel, confident, nor do I feel comfortable entering crude at with an entry point of 61 and a stop at 84.10. Okay, that's just excessive risk. That's over $500 per contract. Just not what a safety target should look like. A safety target should be something that's easily reachable, right? Just like it happened for gold, where as soon as we got in, just went wham right to our T1. Okay, that's something we should be expecting. All right, so we got 4 minutes before the market opens. If you guys have any questions, any comments, please feel free to type them in the chat. Um, if not, then please let me know if there's something else you'd like to see while we got a little bit of time here. Nasdaq, we got open. The euro, I'm going to open the euro with anticipation that it's going to go to the short side. Let's see. Only because, as you see, it's a hopeful long, and it's unconfirmed, and it's pushing up against um, it's pushing below the moving average, which means we could have a potential change in climate. I just want to be prepared just in case we have something. All right, so that's the only reason why. Unfortunately, no red UFOs. Even if this were to become a confirmed down climate, we just don't have any auto UFOs. We don't have our proprietary technology telling us, hey, this is a valid and good entry point for a short. So, we can leave it open. There it is. Market's opened. How's the Nasdaq? Ooh, looking ugly. It touched our. Okay, it was really weird. It did touch our stop, but it got filled higher here. But as you see, we got wicked out. Um, you know, there's that T1 that I was talking about. So I was really hoping that that wouldn't happen. So T1 would have already been hit right now. Um, yeah. Well, the climate did get unconfirmed, so there's also that. It just wasn't one of those days, which is okay. All right, gold. All right, still a down climate. We're okay to keep it open. If you want to close this at market right now, you're more than welcome to. You would have captured half the move, meaning the 150 leg, right? Because you could have a rule that says, listen, as soon as the climate becomes overextended, which is right now, as you see, it's the fifth 15-minute time frame climate out of typically four. So you have permission to close this. If you want to let this run and say, you know what, I don't care that the climate is overextended, this could run for a while, which we've seen it do before, as you see here. Even though 4 is the typical, it actually ran for 8. So, if the same thing were to be followed again, that would have been fine. If not, if this goes up to our stop, then we made no money, but we lost no money, and sometimes that's a win. All right, man, I was about to enter this trade right now, but then I realized the climate is unconfirmed, so nothing to do here. Let's see if we got anything. Here it is. Euro, as I said, sensible short. Oh, look at that. We do have a UFO 1609. 1609 is the top. The UFO just went away. Yep. Okay. Nothing there. I guess we missed it by a little bit. Crude is Sensible short still, right? Yeah. Now, where is our potential entry at 59 to 60? All right, so this is a very, man, 65. Okay, so 60. This is a very low risk, small trade here. 57, all right, to 66. All right, so it's a 9 tick up, 9 tick down. Wait a minute, no, I miscalculated that. Nope, 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 nope. I miscalculated that because I thought I could just take this UFO here. As you see, it it stops at 83.65. So I thought my stop being at 66, I would have been fine. But I'm not because 66 is right inside this UFO, meaning I have to put my stop at 76, which is right in this UFO. So then I got to put my stop at 89, which is right in this UFO. So you see where this is going. Same, my stop will still have to go all the way up here at 84.10. So not interested in taking that. All right, there we go. Finally getting a break on this. So we're gonna move our stop to 91.6. Wait, I'm sorry, 93.6. I'm like, what am I talking about? New UFO has formed. Gold is shooting lower. New UFO has formed, so this is now a definitely 100% profitable trade. Even if it stops us out here for 70 bucks in the negative, the 150 we made from before would be another 75. So money will be made one way or another, right? All right, Nasdaq really, doing what I expected it to do, but well, minus this part now. As long as this stays, yeah, to the upside. Um, Again, if we took this and we got our T1, we would have had our happy dance. Um, it would have been okay. But of course, as you see, market, especially at the open, and especially the Nasdaq, can be extremely jerky. So that's okay. All right. What else do we got here, guys? Not much else, really. It's one of those days, I guess. The euro we looked at. Maybe it can give us another opportunity if it moves quick enough, but so far it's not doing that. Sometimes the euro just moves so perfectly in line and in sync with the UFOs and climates, and sometimes it moves so quick that you can't even catch it. Sometimes it moves so slow that, as the saying goes, paint has definitely dried faster than that. All right. What else do we have here? I'm not seeing. Nope. Not seeing a whole bunch else. There's that break to the upside that we were expecting. This came, fairly close to our T two, which was, I believe, was like something like 5,900 something and change. So it came pretty close. UFOs forming below, looking beautiful. But of course, we're not on the trade, so that's okay. Um, Gold, there we go. That's what we like to see. Okay, there we go. New UFO 92.3. 92.3. Okay, now this is looking much more attractive, much better. New UFO has formed, so now this is definitely looking like a, triple digit winner. Okay, I'm getting an alert on RTY. I guess that dropped off a cliff. Look at that ATR 2.6. My God. That is a big, big drop. Nasdaq's ooh, wow, everything dropped, looks like. So what? Wait, no. Why is it showing me that the Nasdaq? Oh, it's because it's unconfirmed shooting higher. That's what it is. Okay. RTY, meanwhile, shooting way, way lower. Look at that. Sensible short, 3 ATRs down, -3%, whereas the Nasdaq is still green. The ES is still green. Um, yeah, so that's looking that way. All right, folks. I thought maybe we could get another trade going, but unfortunately, nothing's showing up here. We can't. We can't force trades. We have to wait for them to come to us. We need to be like patient fishermen as opposed to being rash with our decision making and all that fun stuff. All right, look, gold's pulling back quite strongly against the climate and multiple UFOs. Hopefully, it doesn't just kick us out and then go down. All right, now the Nasdaq. There's that T2 we were looking for. Um, yeah, it is what it is. All right, so that's that for the YouTube session. We're gonna go ahead and continue into our private stream to keep looking for opportunities. If you guys are not, part of our channel, you can certainly join us here. Let me just share my link real quick with you. 1 second, please. All right, there it is. So this is our brand new portal where we're, where we got our affiliate link right here. So there's several things that you can notice here. You can set up a one-on-one coaching with me. If you have any questions, you can type them here, and you can find answers as you see down here. There's several of them that were asked and answered. Um, you can also take a look at how much things cost, what they are. MetaTrader, monthly, yearly, TradeStation, the platform I'm using, the Tradictive Options Planner, which is our very own platform. So definitely take a look at that as well. And then, of course, setting up a one-on-one with me. So again, that link is tradewithufos.com/Boyan. Feel free to sign up there. And we'll be heading off to our private stream in just a second.